Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to this unique Thru Gita session today. So, very happy to see several devotees already saying Hare Krishna and eagerly waiting. There is Raseshwari Mataji, Vijay Rani Mataji, Vidya Kumari ji, Tirumalai Kumaran sir, Dandavat pranams to you too. Banu Mataji, Sumat Malik, Hare Krishna. I think I'm seeing you for the first time. So, good to have you here. Shiva Prasad ji is here. So, Hare Krishna and welcome. And my brother Antaratma Krishna Prabhu just logged in. So, today's session is going to be significantly different from what we usually discuss. It is one of a kind attempt for me. So, I want to keep it a little informal and casual, just share a few thoughts. I'm open for, feedback. You can also be quite active and you can please mention in the chat section. This is one of those sessions. It would have been rather better if we had maybe done on Zoom, because that way we could interact a little bit more. But that's okay. Using the chat section, you can still put in your comments and weigh in your opinions based on what I'm saying. So these are just some of the opinions and observations based on what I have seen that I would like to present in front of you. You don't have to necessarily agree with everything I say, but just have an open mind. And yeah, so let's give it a try. So today's session is going to be on the reality show, an Indian reality show, which has been streaming for more than a month now. And they've been breaking records after records. Just, I think, a day ago, they crossed 200 million views, and they've really broken all kinds of records. So it really triggered my curiosity. Why is this show trending so much, and why is it catching the fascination of millions of people? So when I gave it a look, I really was taken aback, pleasantly surprised that how so many of the principles, the setting, and so many different things used in this reality show was so close to what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. Literally, there were so many shlokas that was just running in front of my eyes as I was trying to educate myself as to what is the show about and what is the format and things of that nature. So I would just like to present few of these things in front of you today. So, but before anything else, let's go ahead and begin our session with invocation prayers, seeking the blessings of the Supreme Lord, great Acharyas, and wonderful devotees. Okay. So also I see Chetan Prabhu is here, Tyagu Prabhu is here, Abhi Mataji is here. Jai, Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranams, and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. And if you have no idea what is this lockup reality show, no worries. I'm going to explain to you briefly what it is about, so you can still catch up. So that is not a problem. So wherever you are sitting comfortably, sit straight, and if possible, please join your palms together and kindly repeat along with me. The prayers are displayed on the screen here, so you can look at these and then just repeat along with me. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Let us chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 3 times, the devotees. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So dedicating Grow Through Gita Thematic Studies session number 37 unto the lotus feet of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, my most beloved spiritual master, the founder Acharya of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness for short. So seeking His costless mercy, so we may be able to dive into the divine wisdom of Gita in understanding this reality show and drawing some parallels. Okay, so just quickly adjusting my screen in a way that you can see both the PowerPoint slides and myself. All right, so as I mentioned, my dear friends, my dear devotee friends, so today's class, I'm also saying show actually, so it's already impacting my psyche. So today's session is about taking a look at this most trending, record-breaking reality show called Lockup. So why do we have to do this? First, let's understand that. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, shloka number 35, Krishna is telling Arjuna, Kshetra kshetragnayorevam antaramyana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye viduryanti te param. So I want to draw your attention to line number 2, the term called Jnana Chakshusha. Although it is an S there, actually it is N. Jnana Chakshusha. So basically, Krishna is telling Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, I want you to understand things as they are using the Chakshu. Chakshu means eyes. Jnana Chakshu, using the eyes of knowledge. And how do we get knowledge? From the Manual of Life Bhagavad Gita, from Bhagavatam, basically from scriptures. So, based on the scriptural knowledge, using the eyes of scriptural vision, Krishna is telling that we ought to understand our experiences, the things of this material world, everything basically as it is. Not only in this particular shloka, but if we see in chapter 16, shloka 24, the last shloka of 16th chapter, Krishna again emphasized this point saying, Tasmat chastram pramanante karya karya vyavastito jnatva shastra vidanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. So look at the first line. What is Krishna telling? Arjuna, he is telling, Tasmat Shastram Pramanamte. What is the pramana? What is the evidence for you to understand what is duty, what is not duty, what's right, what's wrong, and things like that? Shastram Pramanamte, Shastra, scriptures. So very important shlokas, these two, where Krishna is saying, as we go through our life, we are supposed to take a look at everything, not just with our physical, material eyes, but the actual vision that we get is through the eyes of scriptures. Jnana Chakshusha, Shastra Chakshusha. So in fact, if we thoroughly study, scrutinizingly study, the 700 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita in and out, like unpacking the words, repeatedly chanting them, and trying to apply them in our life, and trying to understand the profound meanings, unwrapping layers after layers after layers, what happens is eventually we start seeing shlokas everywhere. You may be driving on the road and you look at the billboard, but actually you will see a shloka of Bhagavad Gita. What do I mean? Like you will see a shloka of Bhagavad Gita, like whatever is catching your attention, you will see it through the scriptural eyes. You may be sitting down and having a conversation with somebody, and right in that interaction with that other person, you can actually see Bhagavad Gita shlokas. The life experiences that you may be going through, and we know we go through a variety of experiences, good, bad, ugly, you name it. If we are well versed in Bhagavad Gita, both the Jnana and Vijnana, knowledge and application of knowledge, even in our life experiences, we can see the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. In our thought process, we can see the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. In other people's lives, we can start seeing the shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. So my point here is, day in and day out, through everything, we will come to a point we are seeing through Shastra Chakshusha, Jnana Chakshusha. And when we do this, we understand things as they are. We will not mistake a snake to be a rope and vice versa, a rope to be a snake. So using this as the foundation, this instruction of Krishna to see everything with the scriptural eye, scriptural vision, today we are going to try and do just that. That we are going to try to see this reality show, not in the way that other people are commenting and talking about it and making reviews out of it, but ours is going to be through Shastra Chakshusha, through the eyes of Bhagavad Gita. So for those of you who have no idea what is this show about, and those of you who may have just heard but don't know, let's quickly run through what exactly is this show all about. But before that, today, the real versus the real. Although it is a reality show, ultimately it is a show, so that is why I've called it real versus real. The real is like, the life that we are going through. In a way, this is also illusion. This is also, in one sense, real only. But anyway, you get the point. When I say real, I'm referring to the reality show Lockup. And when I say real, I'm talking about our own lives. So the real versus the real. So I would like to basically categorize this presentation into 3 categories. Number 1, I'd like to throw some light on the setting of the show. And then talk about the various people who are participating in the show in various capacities. And number 3, where I would like to spend most of the time, is about the various principles that we can glean from the show. But before that, what exactly is this lockup show? First of all, it's a reality show. When I say reality show, it is not like, some drama kind of a thing. It's real people, real setting, real things happening between people. Real tasks are being conducted. And it's being streamed continuously 24/7. So it's not a totally, made up kind of a show. It's a reality show. And primarily there are 16 contestants in this show who are continuously being monitored. And then it's supposed to run for a period of 72 days. I think they're already through with like 32 days. Almost half of it, they have another 40 days to go. And what the makers claim the show to be is that this is the biggest and most fearless show. How true that claim is, we don't know. Although it is quite controversial. But this is the claim that they made at the time of the launch. So what is the setting of the show? First of all, let's take a look at that. Very, very interesting setting in that it is a setting of a jail. It's a prison house. It's locked up. And the 16 contestants, or rather the inmates or the prisoners, they're locked up in this jail. So first of all, this setting itself is very intriguing because in real, this is the jail that is the setup. But in reality, the jail that you and I are currently right now going through our experiences is the material world. So Krishna clearly in Bhagavad Gita as it is talks about 2 different worlds. There is para and there is apara. There's material world and there is spiritual world. So the spiritual world is 75% of Krishna's creation and 1/4 of it is the material world, which can be likened to the prison house. So similarly in the show also, the real families who are there outside and so many people who are outside of this show, that's a big chunk. But a small chunk, this thing that they have created as a jail, is very reflective of material world itself, which is also, fits the bill of a jail. It can be termed as jail. And immediately, as soon as somebody enters the jail, what happens? They are given a uniform. So here we see there are 2 different teams. There is the yellow-orange team and the blue team. And they have their respective uniforms. And even within those uniforms, there is a little variety there. So similarly, in this material world jail also, when the contestants enter, we are also given a uniform. And what is that uniform? There are 84 lakh different types of uniforms. So right now, the uniform that I am having is a female body, Indian female body. So somebody is having the uniform of a dog, somebody else is having a uniform of a cat, somebody else is having a uniform of an elephant, an ant, an insect, a crocodile, a tree, a blade of grass, a leech, a butterfly, a shark. So many different uniforms. that's allocated the moment we come to the material world. And who gets to come into this jail? So like you see, these are the contestants. Of course, there are people coming and leaving and things like that. But not anybody and everybody gets to come to the jail. It is the people who are rebellious and who have some charge sheet against them. So talking about people, the crux of the show are these contestants who are actually celebrities in their own right, but they are quite controversial. They are quite rebellious. They are the kind who gets into trouble. So we see somebody is charged with, getting into controversial fights, and somebody is charged with stealing the limelight, and somebody joke gone wrong that he's a comedian, stand-up comedian, and he made a joke that was, that got him into trouble. So these are the different charge sheets. So similarly, my dear friends, who gets to come to this material world jail? Like we are also contestants now who have entered this jail of material world. And what is the charge sheet against us? That we were envious of the Supreme Lord. That we did not want to perform what is expected of us. That is to serve the Lord. Rather, we wanted to, be the master. And we wanted to enjoy independently, do whatever we wanted. So that is the charge sheet against us. So we are also quite controversial actually. So there are 16 such contestants who are handpicked. And now the next important point to understand is that these contestants are not forced to come to the material world. They come out of their own choice. And they accept to come in return for some puny amount of money. Of course, it may seem like quite a big sum. People talk about how they are getting paid in lakhs every single day. But for that one thing called money, they sacrifice so much. They literally sell their soul and get into this because they lose their freedom. They lose their basic, amenities. And they lose their peace of mind and so many fights and always subjected to other people's rules and regulations of the jail. So there's so much that they give up just for one thing called money. So similarly, we also just for this cheap thrill or, wanting to enjoy independently, just give it a try. We have given up so much. We have given up our freedom. We have given up our bliss. We have given up so many of our, inherent assets just to come here. And the next person who plays a very important role in this show is the host, as the role of a judge, in the role of a judge. So this is played by, the superstar, one of the superstars, Kangana Ranaut. So basically what she does is every day she is given an update. She watches like 1 hour footage every week as to each contestant, what's going on in the jail. She's briefed about it, and then during the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, they're called the judgment days. So whatever the contestants have done through that whole week, so she gets to judge being the host. She takes the final call, who gets to stay, who gets to go, who gets rewarded, who gets punished. And she can change the rules anytime she wants. So what does she think? What is her opinion? Oh, everything matters a lot. And nobody can play tricks with her. And nothing can escape her eyes because she's being briefed about everything. So who is the host or the judge? Rather than host, we can say judge. So in our life also, instead of, in lockup show, the whole week they are being monitored and then they get judged at the end of the week. In our case, every single life of ours, the whole life is monitored, and at the time of death, right after that, we are also being judged. And who is the judge who is judging us? Anybody? Any idea? So meanwhile, I see that Shruti ji is here, Yogita Mataji, Raghavendra Kulkarni sir, Geeta Kulkarni Mataji, Sridhar ji, Hare Krishna, Sukriti Krishna Prabhu and Shubhaprada Devi Mataji and Satyamurthy sir, Hare Krishna. So there's about 13 seconds lag between me speaking and you hearing, but I will give you that enough time. Who do you think is the judge who judges every single thing that we have done all through our life? Any idea who is our judge? Raseshwari Mataji is saying Paramatma. Not quite. Not quite. Paramatma's role is there, very important role. We'll come to that later. Sai Ram sir, Hare Krishna. So who can tell me who is the judge who punishes us, who rewards us? Chetan Prabhu is telling Supreme Lord is witnessing. Yeah, witness, but this is the judge I'm talking about. We'll come to the witness part shortly. Sai Ram sir said Lord Krishna. That's not right. Tyagraj sir saying our own consciousness. No, not quite. Sukriti Krishna Prabhu said it right. Vijay Mataji said it right. Yamaraj. There you go. There you go. Tirumalai Kumaran sir is saying Durga Devi. Well, Durga Devi's role is coming very soon. Hold on. Okay. So actually it is Yamaraj. Round of applause for Sukriti Krishna Prabhu and Tirumalai sir. Shruti Mataji is saying Lord Krishna. Not quite. Lord Krishna has a much bigger role to play. We'll talk about it. Chetan Prabhu is saying or material nature working on behalf of Krishna. Well, that's Durga Devi. We'll come to her also shortly. Raghavendra Kulkarni is saying our own consciousness. No, not really. So the judge is Lord Yamaraj. He is the one who gets briefed about our life. There is, what is his name? Chitra. What's his name who keeps track of everything, right? What's his name? It's just beating my memory. So if any of you know, you can put it in the chat section. Abhi Mataji, Tyagu Prabhu also saying Yamaraj, good job, that's right. What's his name? Yamaraja's assistant who keeps track of everything. Chitragupta, correct, Chitragupta. So Chitragupta is keeping track, and also there are, I think there are two people, Taruna, Taruni, something like that. Their names, I'm not like exactly sure what their names are. So these two people, for all the women, this Taruni will go and update Yamaraj. I think it is Taruni, there is some specific name. And for all the men, it is Taruna. There are many of them. So who update Yamaraj? So just like the judge Kangana Ranaut, every day she is getting an update about all the contestants, our updates are also being given. But ultimately it's Yamaraj who takes a call. Should we be sent to the hellish planets? Should we be promoted to the higher planets? And usually it's a mix of Papa and Punya. So what should happen first? What should happen next? So here in this jail also, the lockup jail, when somebody is being, when somebody is not done as per the laws or they've broken some laws, the judge can send them to like solitary confinement. They can send them to like a dirty, dingy place. Or they will be taking away some basic amenities from them, like their makeup kit or, some whatever. And sometimes they get rewarded also if they've done some good things. Like they get to see their family members or talk to their family members on video call or something like that. Or they get some food ordered from outside, whatever they like. So Yamaraj also, based on our actions, he will judge accordingly, either reward us or punish us. And also death itself, when somebody gets to leave their body, that is also based on Yamaraj's calculation. So here also the judge takes a call who will get locked out. So every single week, the judge will decide one contestant who will be locked out. That means they are removed from the jail. But of course, not everything is matching equally to the real life. I'm just giving you a glimpse. The next one is the jailer. Some of you said this answer for the judge. So who can tell me now who is the jailer? Yeah, many of you are telling Chitragupt, Chitragupt. Correct. Thank you. So now can you tell me, so in the lockup show, there is this man who is playing the role of a jailer, Karan Kundra. But in real life, for this material world, who is the jailer? I think this time you'll get it easily. I'm keeping my eyes fixed on my phone screen. Who is the jailer? There we go, Durga Devi. Very good. So in this show, Karan Kundra is playing the role of a jailer. So he comes and monitors all the tasks. And he reprimands people, he can punish them, he can come in the middle of the night on behalf of the judge when they order him to go, like somebody really behaved badly last week and he had to come like in the middle of the night at midnight and just get somebody out. So he can chastise, he can punish, so he has a lot of power. But he is not independent, the jailer is working under the superior authorities. And then there are also other set of people called the guards. Of course, this man, Munawar in orange, he's a contestant. But this guy in black, with this hoodie and mask and all this, he is one of the guards. So there are quite a few guards in this jail who take care of the everyday needs of the contestants. They move things, they provide things. And sometimes when they have to be troubled, like the contestants have to be given some trouble, the guards will do it. And sometimes maybe as a punishment based on the groceries which is coming into the jail, the guard will be ordered to go and take away 2 cartons of milk or take away some amount of ration, the groceries. So it is the guards who either give or take away. So who can tell me what is the role, who in our real life is playing the role of guards? Providing facilities and sometimes withholding facilities. Chetan Prabhu is telling Maya Javanika Channam. Very nice. Jailer Maya Devi. I like that. So who can tell me who are the real life gods? Who sometimes provide, who sometimes withhold. Let's see who will get this correctly. Any idea? Wow, Tirumalai Kumaran sir, Hari Bol, demigods, that's right. Good, very good. Very good. Raseshwari Mataji is saying spiritual master. Not really. It's demigods. They give us rain, they give us heat, they give us, light, and they, everything, right? There are 33 crore devatas. Sukruti Prabhu is telling Mother Nature, Prakruti. Yeah, but she is an instrument. But ultimately, the demigods are controlling all these things. Anywhere the people are behaving nicely, they're, very pious. In fact, in 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in Karma Yoga that for the demigods and the humans, they say Krishna says humans should perform yajna, sacrifices, for the pleasure of Vishnu, and thereby they please the demigods, they please Lord Vishnu, and in turn the demigods will please the humans by giving them what they want. So Krishna says like this, paraspara, mutually, the humans and demigods can coexist nicely. So here also we see that the demigods, when humans are nicely performing sacrifices, living as per the rules of Shastra, they will provide bountifully when people are dharmic. Like during the time of Yudhishthir Maharaj, during the time of Lord Ramachandra, during the time of Parikshit Maharaj, it would not even rain during daytime because it's inconvenience for the people. They were so dharmic, it would rain only during the night. And there was plenty of grains and fruits and vegetables and, drinking water, minerals, precious stones, all kinds of things. But when adharma increases, when the demons become more, then nature will withhold. She will not produce much. And there will be untimely rain. Sometimes it is too much rain. Sometimes there is not enough rain. There are floods. There are droughts. There are earthquakes. All kinds of things. So demigods. So here also, when the contestants are behaving well, following the rules, the gods are taking care of them nicely, giving them what they need. But when they misbehave, when they break the rules, the gods are instructed to take away certain things from them. And sometimes the demigods are asked to even throw somebody out or, punish them. So demigods are not independent, just like the gods are not independent. They are simply following the instructions. They are empowered by the authorities. So similarly, demigods are also not the ultimate authorities. They are more powerful than the contestants, but they are under the authority. When they are instructed to do certain things, then they will do accordingly. Alright, so this is about the gods. Now, finally, beyond the host, beyond the jailer, beyond the gods, and of course beyond the contestants who are in the jail, there are the producers of the show, the makers of the show, who are pumping in the money and who are the brains behind the show, who are creating the whole setup. How should the jail be? What are the rules? What is the format? How much we will be paying these people? Who should be the jailer? Who should be the host? Who should be the guards? Everything is decided by the producers. Actually, it is hard to find out about producers because they are not in the front line. You don't get to see them easily. So in this case, it is Ekta Kapoor who is producing the show. But now can you tell me who is the producer of this whole show, the Material World show? This should be very easy. Padmavati Mataji, Hare Krishna. So can you tell me who is the producer in real world? Raseshwari Mataji is telling Brahma actually, no, he is, in one sense because he is the secondary creator, but even beyond Brahma, like even Brahma is created by someone, right? Who's like the ultimate? Tirumalai sir saying Krishna, there you go. And couple of others also said Brahma. Padmavati Mataji, Vijayarani Mataji said Brahmadev. Brahma is secondary. Okay, but I'm asking like the ultimate producer, so that is Krishna. Raseshwari Mataji is telling, very interesting Mataji, isn't it? Yeah, it only gets better. Now we are going to get into some principles and all that. Yeah, it's Krishna, that's right. So Antaratma Krishna Prabhu is telling Brahma producer. Brahma we can say more or less the secondary producer, but the primary producer is Krishna, from whom even Brahma comes. Mohan Prabhu, Hare Krishna, welcome to the session. Every time today, before saying session, even I am feeling like saying show because we're talking so much about the show. Yeah, there we go. Lord Krishna, that's it. Lord Krishna, yes, Supreme Personality of Godhead. So just like in the show also, it's hard to know the producer's hand because you don't see them. They don't come into the jail. They don't see the contestants, at least not in the show that we get to see. But they are like working in the background, but they are the most powerful. They can even change the guards. They can even change the jailers. They can change the host if they want. They can even change the rules of the jail if they want, because they are the ones who are making the show. And because they are the ones who are putting in a whole lot of money and intelligence, just like Krishna. Everything is coming from him, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. And whatever comes from the show also, these people benefit the most because they are the producers. So similarly, Krishna says, Bhoktaram Yajñatapasam. Bhoktaram, he is the ultimate Bhokta. Whatever anybody does, everything is for the pleasure of Krishna only. Even if you do for somebody else, ultimately it's going to Krishna only. So Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Here the producers are the benefiters. And also they are the controllers. So Krishna is the supreme controller. Sarva Loka Maheshwara. So these are the different people who are involved in the show. So there are the contestants, the controversial celebrities who are the inmates of the jail. Then there is the judge, Yamaraj. Contestants is us. And then there is jailer, Durga Devi. Then there are gods like the demigods. And then producers, Supreme Lord Krishna. So I think by now you're getting a hang of it. So now that we understood the setting of the show and then the people involved in the show, let's get to the various principles that come to play in the show. So this law of karma is through and through. It's so evident in the show. So sukarma, or simply called karma, and vikarma. What is karma or sukarma? When you do things, when you conduct yourself as per the laws of the jail, as per the rules of the jail, then that is sukarma. You will be rewarded for it. You do good, you get good. And vikarma, when you break the laws, when you do things that are not sanctioned by the rules of the jail, the manual, then that's vikarma. Then you get punished. So in this jail also, the lockup jail, they have like a board and they have people signing the contracts, telling them what are the rules. And some players have understood the rules so well that they're nicely playing the game and getting rewarded, that their name doesn't go into the charge sheet every week. Because every week when the judge comes, Saturday and Sunday, there are some people whose names goes in the charge sheet, like who are the troublemakers that week. And they are the likely ones to be locked out, that means to be evicted out of the prison. So in our case also, so karma, when we do things as per Bhagavad Gita, as per Bhagavata, then we are also rewarded. Maybe we are sent to the higher planetary systems to enjoy in a better capacity, in a better way for a longer time. Or even in this life also, if we do good things come back to us. Maybe we are financially well situated, maybe we look more beautiful, or maybe we are more intelligent, or maybe we have good family lineage. So this is all result of sukarma. And vikarma, accordingly, when doing something bad, then punished. So the rules apply in the jail also. Like I told you, somebody does something bad, then they could be sent to solitary confinement, or maybe the food, there are some restraints, or they were asked to clean the toilets, or do some physical work, or some things are taken away from them. So sukarma and vikarma very much comes into the play. And sometimes it's hard to understand these also. Just like Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Gahana karmano gatihi. Gahana, very, very complex to understand these laws of karma. And some players constantly complain about that also. My goodness, this is so difficult. I didn't know that. Now, what are the kind of activities? There are so many tasks that are given in the lockup prison, lockup show. There is sharirik parishram, there are physical activities given, there are individual activities given, there are group activities given, there are tasks or competitions based on strategy, based on intellectual capacity. So many different types of tasks, but the basic thing is they are active. They're supposed to be active. They're very, very busy doing various things. So similarly, we are also kept very, very busy in this material world, constantly competing against each other because envy is the root principle. And even other activities, there are physical activities, mental activities, intellectual activities. And there's competition, like you saw in an earlier picture, there is the blue team, there is the orange team. And they end up in one of these teams and the other teams becomes their rival, their enemy, their competitors. So similarly, in this world also, we are pitched against each other and we have our own competitions against, maybe our colleagues or maybe our cousins or neighbors or whoever or friends or anybody. Our college mates, classmates, schoolmates. And the moment there is competition, there is this win-lose concept. And the moment they win, then immediately there is pride. Or when they lose, they feel bad. So now they get so involved in the activities of the jail that they're feeling proud for winning a task, a competition in the jail. Imagine. So similarly, in our case also, we get so proud in this material world. It's a jail and we are proud of doing something here. Well, being in the jail itself is quite abominable. And also another key thing that comes when talking about activities is some of the contestants become very inactive and lazy. They don't really do anything. And they are the ones usually they are locked out because they're not really contributing anything. But in our case, in the material world, Krishna says that we cannot become inactive because by nature we are going to be active. It is inherent within us. So whether in the lockup show or whether in the real show of material world, inactivity is not favored. You better be active. And we will be. And this is very interesting that the emotional bonds that get formed within the jail, they've all come together only for a period of 72 days, but already within 32 days, we see that friends and enemies concept is so strong. The moment they're put into different teams, the other team automatically becomes their enemy. And even within their own team, if somebody is they were gelling very well, getting along well, then if they're friends or they call them enemies if they're not. And the beauty, quite an interesting thing that here is simply by changing the teams, the jailer or the judge, they have the authority to switch the teams. So somebody from the orange team may be shifted to the blue team. Now immediately, just because they went to the blue team, now who they considered as their enemies become their friends and the opposite team becomes their enemies. So how many times this happens in our real life, right? At least I have witnessed so many in my short life thus far. That we are friends with someone and it takes no time for the friend to turn into an enemy, and sometimes we are enemies with someone and then enemies also become friends. So this concept of friends and enemies itself is so superficial and illusory. That's why Prahlad Maharaj tells his father Hiranyakashipu that who is your friend, who is your enemy? Nobody is your friend, nobody is your enemy. It's only your mind who is making some people as your friends and some people as enemies. So this concept of friends and enemies and one turning into the other is so much on the forefront in this show. And the relationships. There's so many different relationships. Somebody is feeling like elder brother to somebody. Somebody is, having motherly feeling to somebody. And especially the romantic relationships within such a short time. Developing liking for the other gender. And there are so many betrayals. That somebody stood up and somewhat supported them but they threw them under the bus and they actually put their name in the charge sheet and they were so let down. and there are heartbreaks. And even within this 72 days, as it is, it's temporary, but even within that, it's temporary, because even within this short time, people are coming, people are going. New contestants are coming, old contestants are sometimes evicted, they are locked out. So same thing happens, right? In our life also, as it is, this life itself is short and temporary, but even within that, different people come and go from our lives, briefly, for temporary periods. So it is so, fascinating, because the kind of emotional bonds that people form here, and the more they get emotionally invested in these relationships, they're becoming forgetful of the relationships outside, not knowing that those are the real family bonds, those are the real friends, so they're becoming forgetful of that and becoming involved here. Just like for us in the material world, right now we feel like this is my husband, these are my children, these are my parents, this is my brother, this is my sister, this, these are my friends, this is my country, my. We are so emotionally invested here, we have completely forgotten that actually our real relationships are in the spiritual world. Because we've become so active in emotional bonds here. So very close contrast. Oh, this is also very much stands out. Ulterior motive. Although sometimes, although it seems like people are in certain teams and they're all playing, especially when it is a group task and all that, people come together, they're working together, cooperating. But actually, every single person in the jail has ulterior motive. What is that? I should be the one who wins. And what is that win in the lockup show? Whoever survives until the end, and who gets the maximum number of votes and gets judged by the judge to be the best. So although superficially it seems like they're playing for the team and they've developed these relationships in various capacities and this and that and whatnot, but ultimately if we just dig, everybody's eye is on the prize and everybody is stepping on other people's toes so they can become the winner. And this is so ultimate that Krishna, in the very first chapter, first shloka of Bhagavad Gita, through the character of Dhritarashtra, who is not only physically blind but also spiritually blind, he brings it up front. He brings it like right in the middle of the arena. Because when Dhritarashtra asks Sanjaya, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samavetayu Mamaka Pandavashchaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. He's asking Sanjaya, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do? In the holy place, Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra, they've all gathered with the desire to fight. So although superficially it feels like as though he's concerned for his sons, but this person already knew they were going to die from Vyasadeva. But he did nothing to stop the war. So externally it seems like it is Putra Moha, that he is attached to his son, he loves Duryodhana, but actually the ulterior motive of Dhritarashtra is to hold on to the kingship for as long as possible, even at the cost of having his 100 sons killed. So this Dhritarashtra mentality, the nature of material love is exposed, even in the show. When the time comes, it comes out that people, are showing the colors that ultimately they're interested in their own selfish motive, no matter how much they cover it up outside. And there's so many other interesting points that is worthy of pondering over. So I've just listed them here. We can just go through them one by one. The contestants cannot leave on their own. They must be evicted by the judge or the jailer. So similarly, no matter how bad the situation gets in this material world, no matter how much suffering we may have to go through, we cannot leave. We do not have the right to commit suicide. This body does not belong to us. And that is the thing that these people sign, one of the things as part of contract, that they cannot leave on their own until they are evicted out. So similarly for us also, no matter how ugly the situations get, we are not supposed to take our lives. If we do, then there is punishment for that also. Like these people, if they choose to leave, then it's breaking the contract and there will be some punishment for that. So we have to be removed, we have to be evicted, we have to be sent out by Maya Devi. Material nature, we cannot take our own lives. And the next point is blaming the makers. There are times when the contestants start blaming the makers of the show, saying that what is this, this is a stupid thing, they don't know this, they don't know that, they have not sent us enough groceries, they're not keeping the doctors and nurses to take care of our medical needs and this and that, and they didn't send enough cartons of milk. This is not clean, that is not there. But actually, they are going through what they signed up for. And they're being punished and rewarded based on their own actions. But they simply went out blaming the makers. So similarly, here also in the material world, we see, although we are going through for our own karma, it is our own deal that we have signed with Maya Devi, but we blame Krishna. Why did Krishna do this? Why did Krishna take somebody's life? Why did Krishna allow this to happen? Why is Krishna so unfair? We also blame the makers without really understanding. Actually, it's our own doing. This is the contract we signed. And many a times the inmates are blindsided by other inmates. Like there was one instance when I was preparing for this, I noticed that although some inmates were blaming the makers that they had not sent enough milk, but actually when this was presented to the judge showed the witness the camera footage showing that one of the inmates single-handedly just at one time had drank 2 whole cartons of milk, which the other inmates were totally unaware of. And they were blaming the makers. So similarly, how many times we are blindsided by the other people in our lives? They may have done something good or bad. Sometimes we have absolutely no idea what they have done. So our opinions and judgments and perspectives are so skewed and sometimes outright wrong. Forgetfulness of real family. I did bring up this point earlier. They get so emotionally invested in the relationships in this temporary jail that they become forgetful of their outside family. Same with us. We are thinking this temporary family to be our family and we have become forgetful of our real family in the spiritual world, our relationship with Krishna. And the 3 kleshas, Adhyatmika klesha, happening in lockup jail. People are put through physical tasks, gym activities and so many other things, and mental strength is being tested. And Adi Bhautika Klesha, other inmates are creating problems. They make some insulting remarks, they lie to them, they criticize them, they put them down. Sometimes even they get physical with them and they may use abusive language. And Adi Daivika Klesha, sometimes it is through the demigods, like the gods come and pick up something or do something. So difficulties from them, from the makers of the show, from the gods. Same thing here in the material world. Our own body and mind creating problem, other beings creating problem, from a little mosquito to the boss to the spouse to the in-laws to whoever, and then there are supernatural forces that causes problem. And getting into brawls with the host. So if any contestant really gets rough with the host, with their language or the tone or anything like that, immediately they will be evicted by the host or the judge. So similarly, when we take panga with material, material nature, Maya Devi, Krishna says, Daiviyesha Gunamayi Mamamaya Duratyaya. He says, this divine energy of mine, Daiviyesha Gunamayi, which has three modes, Sattva, Raja and Tamo. Mamamaya Duratyaya, very difficult to overcome. So if we take Panga with Durga Devi, with Maya Devi, she will show that she is way stronger than us. Similarly, sometimes the contestants are foolish enough to take Panga with the judge and then immediately they are evicted. They show them like who actually is in control. And nature cannot be repressed. There are some players who come, initially they're playing goody and trying to put on a persona because the public is watching them and the public is also giving them votes. But eventually, very soon, within a matter of few days or a week or two, their true nature comes out. And this is said by Krishna in 3rd chapter. That one's nature, no matter what you do, it cannot be repressed. It will come out. The nature of Varna, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, that nature, and it is the ashrama nature or any other nature, the Daivi nature, the Asuri nature, divine quality, demoniac quality, people pretend, act like Putana, externally showing like they're very good, but it can't be repressed for too long. Like Putana's true character came out, that she actually came to feed poison. And she's actually this ugly demoness, hideous demoness. But she pretended like she was beautiful. So even in real world, we see, when I say real world, material world, we see that people pretend, but it can't be repressed. Same thing, this lockup show also brings out the true nature of people. And many a times, or most of the times, actually mental strength is far greater than physical strength, what is needed to win the game. And same can be said for us also. So physical strength is more like Ashtanga yoga and types like that, which is very difficult. Like Hiranyakashipu, could stand on the tip of his toes for 10,000 years, raising his hands and praying to Lord Brahma, looking towards the sky. Can you and I do that? Not really. And that is why things like Ashtanga yoga, even Arjuna said in 6th chapter, it is impractical and very, very difficult. But the easier thing is mental strength. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhya jimam namaskuru anantash chintayanto mam. Always think of me and never forget me. Use your mind to remember me. Think of me, my name, my form, my pastimes. So to win the game of material world also, our mental strength, intellectual strength is far more important than physical strength. Same in the lockup. And sometimes artificial scarcity is created because of the greed of one or two people in the lockup shop. Like I told you earlier, there is this one guy drinking 2 cartons of milk because of his greed, and there's scarcity for everybody. And they're not aware of that, and they're blaming the makers, telling that you're not sending up enough groceries. So this is artificial scarcity. So similarly, in the material world also, because of the greed of few people who are hoarding the grains, who are hoarding the money, who are hoarding gold, who are hoarding weapons. So greed, because they're hoarding all that, artificial scarcity is created. And we think, oh, how cruel the Lord is that He is not providing enough for everybody. Not really. Not really. So God is giving bountiful, abundantly. Material nature is giving abundantly. But it is the greed of some of the demoniac people that's causing artificial scarcity. Like Prabhupada also writes about this during his time in Calcutta. During the Second World War, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Britishers created artificial scarcity. They hoarded all the rice and other grains. And Prabhupada says how just in a week's time or something like that, the price of the rice went exorbitantly high and people were literally dying on the streets of Calcutta, which Prabhupada witnessed this with his own eyes. And now, cameras, guards, witness. Everything is being watched by the camera 24/7. Within the bathrooms, within the kitchen, everywhere they're being watched. So if somebody cooks up some stories, immediately they can pull up the camera records and prove what is right and what is wrong. Similarly, for us also, some of you said earlier that who is the witness? Paramatma. So the same Supreme Lord Krishna is there in everybody's heart as witness. So we can't escape. We cannot say in the next life that, now I have become somebody just because I forgot what I did in my previous life. We can't say this is unfair. Why am I having to go through all these things? You may have forgotten, but the witness is there. You may not be aware, but the witness is there. So similarly, in this show also, the witness, cameras, guards, they are noticing everything. And during the judgment days, one of the options, a couple of times they give to the contestants whose name is gone into the charge sheet, is they can save themselves from getting locked out by revealing some of their secrets. Now it takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength to reveal one's innermost secrets in front of everybody. To come clean like that, it takes a lot of courage. But they get to save themselves because of using that option. So similarly, in material world also, especially when we take to bhakti, devotional service, if we have the strength and courage to accept our own shortcomings, the anarthas, whatever hideous things one may have done, to accept it and then reform it, then we are also given another chance. And it's purifying our heart when we admit. And then there are messengers. Whether it's the jailer or some new contestant who comes or sometimes the judge, they share information about outside world because these people don't have phones and they're just locked out, completely locked in actually, completely from the external world. So they don't know how the show is doing, they don't know what's happening outside. So these people act as messengers, some of them, and they give them the news and this is what is happening. And sometimes they also give message about their real families. And when they're given the message about real families, like when they show their son or daughter on the phone through a video call, or sometimes bring them to meet them and things like that, then actually they know, oh, I'm so involved in this temporary illusory family, but my actual family is there. Similarly, to us, the inmates of this material world who have also forgotten about this, forgotten about our real family, the messengers in the form of Bhagavad Gita, in the form of Guru, in the form of Lord Krishna himself sometimes, in the form of avatars, in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the form of holy name, in the form of other devotees, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis. They give us the information about the real world, outside world, the spiritual world. They give us a glimpse into our real family, and then we also realize, I'm too involved in this illusory family. My actual family is there in the spiritual world. So there are so many similarities. And I just have a few more to go. Ignorance is no excuse. There was one contestant, I think last week or something, who was claiming that, well, I didn't know this. But that was no excuse. They were supposed to know it. So the jailer and the judge reminded them that you ought to know it because you signed the contract. You knew what you were getting into. And judgment day, we already talked about it. Our judgment day happens after death in Yamaraja's court. Punishment or enjoyment, everything is settled there. But the ones who are actually bracing themselves to win this game are the ones who understand the rules nicely and are using the rules to their advantage to win and get out of the jail. Not simply to get out of the jail, but to get out of it as a winner. Similarly, for us also to successfully get out of this jail of Durga Devi, material world, and then win the prize of Krishna Prema, going back home, back to Godhead, first of all, we should understand the rules of this material world. So for that, we need to thoroughly study Bhagavad Gita, the do's and don'ts. And the escape formula also is given, that those who surrender to Krishna can easily overcome Maya Devi. The very last, most important instruction also Krishna talks about surrender. So we should also understand the rules nicely and play the rules to our advantage, so we may also emerge as winners and get out of this material world and go back home, back to Godhead. And finally, one other interesting point that I want to share with you is, all through these contestants, while they're playing the game, they are thinking that they are the ones playing the game, they're strategizing, they're coming up with various tricks. But my friends, in reality, it is actually the game that is playing them. As I said, the makers, the producers of the game, who have come up with all these rules and setting and everything, who get to pick the people, they are the ones who are using these contestants. So similarly, Krishna says, some people, they think that actually they are the doers. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manyate. So some people, out of ahankara, about false ego, vimudatma, especially foolish, not just ordinary foolish, extraordinarily foolish, what do they think? Kartaham iti manyate. I am the karta, I am the doer, I am the one playing the game. That is what they think. But actually, who is playing the game? Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha. So actually, it is the producers, the jailer, they are the ones, the judge, the gods, they are the ones who are playing the game. Ultimately, the producers who are playing the game. So we should also not foolishly think that we are here and playing the game. We should understand that we are being played against. So understand the rules nicely and remember Krishna at all times, using our mental capabilities, faculties, use our intelligence nicely in a way that we can get out of this lockup, the material world lockup, so we can go and be in the loving embrace of Supreme Lord Krishna. So that's it. These are some of the few points that I just wanted to share with all of you. So this is just to give you a glimpse into how not just a reality show, but no matter what's going on in our life, no matter what somebody is telling us, what we read, what we see, everything we should start seeing with Shastra Chakshusha, Jnana Chakshusha, through the eyes of the scriptures. Then we will know everything as they are. And that will help us in getting out of this jail called material world. So any questions, comments? Also, meanwhile, I just want to bring your attention that we have our summer camp. Most of you, I think, have already seen our poster, video poster that I had shared. So kindly share that with everybody you can. And if you have your own children between the ages of 8 to 12 and 13 to 19, that is teenagers, starting from April 11th up to April 22nd, we have this wonderful personality development summer camp happening. So please do reach out to us and enroll your children. It's 2 weeks camp. There will be no class on Saturday, Sunday, but we cover a whole host of topics like leadership, communication, goal setting, relationship management, anger management, time management, digital de-addiction, shlokas, etiquette, concentration, self-confidence, positive thinking. So one for the juniors, 8 to 12 years, and the other for the teenagers, 13 to 19 years. So please do take advantage of the personality development summer camp. Also, please do share it with others, So that way, more and more kids can come and take benefit of this wonderful program, wonderful camp. So I'll just play the video. Hopefully, I'll be able to play and and I'm here to share something important with you. Vacations come and go. Hello. Just 1 second. I'll try to play it if I can. Let me see if I can play it. Hello everyone, this is Aradhana and I'm here to share something important with you. Vacations come and go, but personalities stay and grow. In today's highly competitive world, it takes not just a great academic score but a brilliant personality to succeed in all walks of life. This summer, starting from April 11th, Aradhana Online is thrilled to offer you the best personality development summer camp covering a whole host of topics like digital de-addiction, leadership, communication, relationship management, anger management, time management, goal setting, and a whole lot of other relevant topics. We also offer both online and offline options. To make your choice and find out about timing, fees, and other such details, please do contact us on 96-325-60111. We look forward to seeing you in the camp. Until then, take care. Okay, so I hope it was audible. So that's briefly about the summer camp. So please do share it with others, spread the word. Kindly do that bit, would appreciate it very much. And yeah, so I will leave my email ID here. If anybody has joined newly, if you're interested in enrolling your child for the camp, I'm leaving my email ID here. So please do contact us. It's arunainbox@gmail.com. So just get in touch with us, drop us an email, and we'll get back to you. So any comments, questions? Raseshwari Mataji is saying, true, we are mere puppets who have misused our free will. Very true. And she's also saying, awesome, Mataji. I love the comparison. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mataji. This is different for me also. We usually don't do this, but somehow when so many similarities were striking, I thought I also wanted to share that with you, my digital family, Grow Through Gita family. So together we could learn some principles out of this. So Padmavati Mataji is also saying, thank you, Mataji. You're welcome, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Excuse me. So anybody else? Any other comments? So if you haven't already subscribed to Aradhana Online YouTube channel, you're new to the channel, please do subscribe and hit that bell icon so you get notifications of all our future programs. And if you haven't already liked the session, in case you felt like it was worth your time, please do hit that thumbs up button and show us some love. And this video will be available on the channel, so you can also share it with others. Also, happy Ugadi to everybody. And we look forward to seeing you again next Saturday. Every Saturday we come together at 5:30 p.m. Indian time, picking up different themes based on the principles of Bhagavad Gita. So let's see next Saturday what we come up with. But also most importantly, don't forget about the summer camp. It's starting exactly in a week. So not this Monday, but next Monday, April 11th is when it is starting. So please do contact us to know about the exact timing and fees and things like that. Few of you have already enrolled your children. So thank you so much for the positive response. I'm sure the kids are going to benefit immensely from it. And so yeah, please do spread the word and share it with others also. Vijay Rani Mataji is saying, thank you Mataji for a very interesting session. Happy Ugadi to everyone. You're very welcome, Vijay Rani Mataji. Raghavendra Kulkarni sir is saying, reference Kashmir Pandits who were killed, harassed, which took place 30 years back. God did not rescue them. Your comments, please. All right. So this is what we said right in the show, blaming the makers. Excuse me, I think something went in my nose. Um, so again, this is when we start blaming God. Okay, the terrorists are beheading somebody, the terrorists are raping, women and doing all kinds of ghastly things. So we should know that it is not that God is willingly allowing these things. Everything is being monitored and people will accordingly be punished. So it is like a reluctant father when a child is very, very stubborn to do something nasty. What can you do beyond a point as a parent? But of course, in Krishna's case, there are so many things Krishna can do. When it gets too much out of hand, he himself comes or he sends some incarnation to kill these demons, and Krishna has done that several times. So we have to be rest assured that Krishna is definitely going to address these things. These people are going to be punished. They will pay a price for their misdeeds. But it is not that God is telling anybody to do bad. Nowhere in Bhagavad Gita, nowhere in Quran, nowhere in Bible, Krishna is saying that you do these things and perform violence against each other and do such horrible works. It is the misuse of free will. In the name of jihad, if certain section of people are doing such ghastly things, it is their mistake. It's not that it is God's mistake. God is not endorsing that. God is not encouraging that. He's unwillingly letting it happen because of the misuse of free will. But please be rest assured that they will suffer for that. Every single action is having equal and opposite reaction. So it is inappropriate to blame God for this. It's not God who is making these things happen. Of course, not a blade of grass moves without God's will, that is there. But like I said, the right understanding is it is because of the misuse of free will by certain section of people. But God will definitely punish. There are proper laws in place and they will be accordingly dealt with. Padmavati Mataji is saying, look forward to the next session, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. You're always so encouraging. And Antaratma Krishna Prabhu is telling, thank you, Aradhana. It was a nice comparison study. Thank you so much. That was the exact objective, actually, to compare. And Vidya Kumari Mataji is saying, very good comparison. Thank you, Mataji. Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So I hope through this session, it's given us a little bit of inspiration and encouragement, impetus to do such comparison even in our real life. No matter what we are seeing, what we are going through, what we are hearing, everything should be seen with Jnana Chakshusha. Shastra Pramanamte, with the Shastra Chakshu eyes of scriptures. Okay, so on that note, let's finish the class here and we will meet again next Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Indian time. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. So thank you very much everyone for joining. We'll see you again next week. Take care and please do spread the word about summer camp. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.